what's going on, y'all? We're back with another Artisan deck. This time it is the version of Mono White Magecraft, since that also has a lot of uncommons and commons that it relies on. So the general core is your creatures over here, which are very cheap and get additional value. Let's see, these two are kind of more filler, the Usher and the Professor. These two are what win the game, Clever Lumimancer and Clarion Spirit. Clever Lumimancer goes super tall and just goes through whatever your opponent's trying to do. It gets ginormous, really fast because it gets +2/+2 whenever you cast or copy an instant, and all these other cards over here are instants and sorceries. Clarion Spirit, on the other hand, goes super wide. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you make a 1/1. So every single turn with Clarion Spirit, generally speaking, you get another 1/1 flyer, and then you can buff them all with Save Asri Solidarity, and then you win. However, 8 creatures isn't quite enough for most aggressive decks to function, so we also have Usher the Fallen, which can help go wide by boasting, and is a 1 mana 2/1, so it's reasonable aggressive value, and Professor of Symbology, which gives you access to the Learn board. So in the Learn board we've got 2 environmental sciences, 1 reduced to memory to exile a permanent if that's super duper necessary. I haven't fetched this yet in any deck with the Professor, but I always include it just in case there's something really nasty that you can somehow remove and still be in the game. And then we've got 2 token generators here and 2 sorceries to buff creatures, which is of course what our deck's trying to do, so it's nice to have some of those in the lesson board. Guiding Voice also allows us to learn and put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, which makes it a pretty good 1 mana instant or 1 mana sorcery for the Magecraft trigger, and to be a second spell in the turn for Clarion Spirit. Let's see what else. We've got Defiant Strike, +1/+0 until end of turn, draw a card, auto include if you're playing white and these 2 cards. Yeah. Fairy Guidemother also has a sorcery to buff a creature and can be a creature on its own. On its own can trigger Clarion Spirit if you have 3 mana. Pretty nice. Kabira takedowns are only removal because we want to, generally speaking, go wide, and then this can kill our opponent's creatures. And then to go over the top, we've got 2 Kaya's Onslaughts to give +1/+1 and double strike until end of turn, usually used on a Lumimancer that is already fairly large, and then it can one-shot your opponent from like 16 or something. And Show of Confidence, if you've already cast 1 or 2 instants or sorceries this turn, it gives a lot of counters and some vigilance, though usually you wait until during combat to use it. So the vigilance isn't usually relevant, but it's good. And then of course it gives several Magecraft triggers for the Lumimancer, which can help you, find lethal, which is what we're trying to do. And then 20 basic planes because it's a monocolored deck, and Kabira Takedown fills out the land count. Yeah, that's the deck. Let's go try it out. We've got good spells. We need to draw some lands, but we've got Defiant Strike to help us get there. I think this is keepable. Start off with the Lumimancer, I suppose. Okay, we do find the land, which I think means we want to get the Clarion Spirit down here. Or we could just Defiant Strike and Usher. That at least gets us some damage through. So I think that's what we're going to go for here. Our opponent's probably playing some sort of Rogues or Mill, opening on the Dimir pathway. And they concede. Okay. That happens sometimes. Especially in the unranked formats. This is an easy keep. Silver Quilt Campus, eh? Looks like our opponent wants to remove one of our creatures here. Auras. Well, we can kill the Eidolon. So yeah, we can cast Usher and kill the Eidolon. That'll trigger Clarion Spirit and the Lumimancer, which is pretty good. Let's see if they want to make any foolish blocks first. No. Definitely more afraid of the Eidolon because it'll draw them cards when they kill my creatures, which is double bad. Okay, I'll happily 2-for-1 with this Usher. And Guiding Voice means we get to trigger Clarion Spirit here. Let's put a counter on the Lumimancer, I think, so it can still do something when I don't have a spell to cast. And let's see, Environmental Sciences guarantees we can double spell next turn, so I think that's the pick. And guaranteeing that we get the Professor down next turn means we can learn again, so I think that's the better play. Okay, Sentinel's Eyes comes back. Kabira Takedown, of course, is better here because it triggers the Lumimancer twice, or a second time rather. Let's see, do I want to kill the Eidolon and let them draw a card? Yes, because the Eidolon is holding back our Clarion Spirit from attacking, and they're just going to get to draw more cards with it later if we leave it alive, so yeah, let's get rid of that. No blocks, go to 5, okay. Don't see a lot of ways they survive next turn. No blocks. Okay, kill the Lumimancer, that's fine. Land means we can make a token with our Professor. I think we want to get the one that flies. Also, yeah, removing the L-Seed there is not ideal, because then they just get a 3-2 to put their Sentinel's Eyes on, which isn't great for us. We just want to keep going wide. Short. Savior, huh? Let's see, might as well make them use the Savior now so they can't block with it next turn. Let's see, I think we want to make them block with the Alseid here. Now that our hand's empty, it's not super likely that we'll get to keep triggering the Clarion Spirit. If they just suit up their Eidolon, they're dead to the Flyers. Yep. Got him. Go again. Yeah, this hand looks fine. Alright, since we drew that land, definitely want to play the Fairy Guide Mother turn 1. Otherwise, I was thinking about playing the Takedown turn 1, just so we can definitely curve out. Let's see. Get the Clarion Spirit down, get the Clarion Spirit down. Our opponent's playing Life Gain without Heliod. I'm interested to see how well that works. Okay, Guiding Voice, very nice here. Go ahead and get Expanded Anatomy, I think. Going bigger here is going to be very good. Let's see if they'd like to double block. If they don't block at all, I'll probably go for the Professor. And we have an Expanded Anatomy, so let's go ahead and get another creature. Evasion seems pretty nice, so we'll get the Flyer rather than the 3/2. Swift Response is fine. Alright, Hallowed Priest is something that will actually start being a threat, so we can Kabira Takedown that. We can also Basri Solidarity here, which seems pretty decent. Oh, they are turbo life gain, huh? Oh, they're plow gamers. Nice. Let's see, is Expanded Anatomy and a Show of Confidence lethal? Let's buff up this Flyer. I don't think it's quite lethal. No, it's just 11. So much life gain. They can tap almost all of their creatures to crew the plow. And then give the plow indestructible with the dog, which is a bit of a problem. But I don't think we're blocking. We need all the damage we can get. We might chump it with the Inkling next turn. They should chump with the dog here. Yeah, because if we had any instant, it would be lethal. And there's There's no single card we could draw that would require more than 5 mana, so I'm just going to hold this last land to bluff. Double plow, I don't think that really does anything. Now if they tap all the creatures, they are dead on the crackback. So they go up to 8, and then we have 13 damage. Okay, I wasn't going to block anyway, but that's fine. Okay, clearly we have the better mono white deck. There's nothing they can possibly do here to get out of lethal with no cards in hand and all their creatures tapped. Yep, good game. Try for one more here. Just one creature, but the professor can get us more creatures. It's definitely not a good hand, but I don't think it's bad enough to mulligan on the play and not knowing what our opponent's doing. Would have liked to have that last turn, but oh well. I think we just want more creatures here. Is it? And nothing. Okay. What are the odds they play Crush the Weak? Pretty good, huh? But we'll make him have it. Here we can go get environmental sciences just so we make sure we hit our land next turn. Ah, it's draw 2. Probably not Crush the Weak then if they're going to play that out here. Okay. Let's see, do I buff these both up so I can keep attacking? I think so. We are the beatdown here. We want to be anyway. Without a Clarion Spirit, we don't do very well just sitting around. Second Fairy Vandal, second Gust of Wind. Ouch. That is super unfortunate. There's a Clarion Spirit though. I think it's the other professor here. Or we could play out both of our 1-drops again. Maybe that's better. Just go as wide as possible before playing the second Basri's Solidarity. Alright, our opponent also wants to go wide. That's a bit of a problem. And their going wide involves card advantage, so not ideal. But we might be able to go wider. Let's see, what do we get here? I don't think we want to reduce the improbable alliance. I think we just take this to go bigger. And another one. Here we get environmental sciences, I think. No attacks. Double improbable alliance. Ouch. Our opponent has had 2 of every single spell we've seen so far this game. Very interesting. If I could get a second Clarion Spirit, that would be very nice. Or Akaya's Onslaught to try and finish this game. What do you know? Let's see. I think I want to set it up for next turn. But I also want to trigger the Clarion Spirit this turn. So I guess that means I play Environmental Sciences and Spirit Summoning here. Or I could Expanded Anatomy, but they're just going to block whatever is Expanded Anatomied, so I think we want to go wider. Of course they can trigger their Improbable Alliance this turn too. Maybe they'll try and tap out and go for lethal here. No. No such luck. Well, this is our plan. Just have to go for it. Play around a Dwari Disruption or something. They have 7 blockers to our 10 attackers. Did they mean to double block the 4-3? No. Alright, so they leave the Usher unblocked. Is that even lethal? No, it's not. That's only 12. So we lose here. Short by 1. Very sad. Though of course our opponent has 6 mana and 5 cards. Alright. Okay. Short by 3. they didn't get two improbable alliances there, I don't think they had any sort of chance. I think that's probably the only card in Is It that can block us going wide. Okay, double Lumimancer and spells seems good. Let's try and make sure we hit lands. Since we're on the play, I don't feel under super much pressure here. Of course, environmental sciences gains life as well. Yep, we don't find the land, so let's get it here. Okay, they do have a blocker. If they don't block here, I think Defiant Strike Show of Confidence is lethal. Let's see. No, not quite, huh? Let's see, do I save the Professor then? I think so. See if they can get me from 14 to 0 in one turn. Or put out a flying blocker. Nope, got him. Venerable Knight is pretty underwhelming unless you're playing like full-on Knights Tribal, which the format just doesn't have the cards to support, I don't think. Usher is a better standalone card, because you can use it if you don't have anything else to do. Venerable Knight is usually just a vanilla 2-1. Usher, I think you boast more often than you get the counter out of Venerable Knight. Yeah, deck was solid. I'm not really sure what else to say. I wouldn't really change anything. All the cards that are in here are very strong. We drew the right amount of lands for the most part. I think the balance of creatures and spells was good. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. The sideboard was good. Definitely want the 2 environmental sciences here. Sometimes you do just only draw 2 lands, but with environmental sciences you can get up to 4, which is all you really need for the most part with this deck. Yeah, there's no other card like Clarion Spirit that can really just go wide enough to take over the game. There's no Leonin Light Scribe in Artisan to also take over the game, which there was in the other mono white video I made. But I think this is a fun way to Artisan and definitely can get you your wins. So yeah, thanks for watching.